Yom Ashdiyasa Tavshin Lamed Aleph Ois Yud Gimel, the final Ois of the Maimer. The Rebbe is now wrapping up, if you want to put it, the Maimer. We asked the question in the beginning of the Maimer. What was our first question? The first question was, why did Nasi Asher, the Medrash says that what was his carbon? Because of the Bechira, the choice that Hashem chose the Jewish people. And then we say, and therefore, when the Ishuran Shal Yisrael is the fact that Jewish people chose Hashem. And then he says, and when Nasi Asher came to bring his carbon, he brought it for the Bechira that Hashem chose the Jewish people. As we explained then at the beginning of the Maimer, it's not just a question of, okay, which choice is the more important one. It's more, what is the important thing? The whole concept is that we choose Hashem, or that Hashem chooses us. And now the Rebbe explains, in fact, more the question as well as the answer. The Rebbe says, now we can understand what's the connection between Hashem's choice in the Jewish people and the Jewish people's choice in Hashem. Meaning, when we understand the idea of choice, which the idea of choice actually also answers the question, which it doesn't say it so clearly, but the whole Maimer explains that idea of what does choice mean. And the first question was, how can you say that we choose Hashem? Isn't it obvious? What else is there to choose? What's the other choice? Choice is when there's two things that are equal, or one of them is better, one of them has an advantage over the other. Between Hashem and Lahavdil, the Getchkes, what's the point? What's the big deal that we chose Hashem? Why is it called choice? It's not choice. And the answer is that the idea and the meaning of choice is that it doesn't come because there is nothing else. Choice means I'm choosing not because there is nothing else. Choice means that even if there was something else, it's not coming because this is the best thing. I'm choosing it because my essence chooses it. That's what choice means. That's the whole idea of Asher. That's the whole idea of Yom Ashtei Asar Yom. That there's nothing else outside that's pushing it. I, by my essence, by my existence, want Hashem, even if intellectually it doesn't make sense, even if because of my existence of who it is, I would want to have other things. Because of my existence, who it is, I would want to get things easy, like the Goyim. But as a Jew, I choose Hashem because that is my essence. That's the choice. That's where the choice comes. And then we go further and we even bring that down, that the choice even brings that seichel, which usually is something outside of me, intellect, which is usually something which is an outer reason. The intellect itself also becomes the very essence, something that doesn't seem to make sense, like we said in the previous ice. For that you need a raya, the shepherd, who enables us that even our intellect itself should be, because that's what my neshama chose. That's what the idea of the connection of the choice, that Hashem chose the Jewish people and the Jewish people chose Hashem. That's why the two are connected. Because in order that a Jew should choose Hashem, that choice doesn't come from anything that makes sense. It comes from choice, but it comes from the essence of the neshama of a Jew. It comes from the fact that Hashem chose the Jewish people, that the pnimius haratzin, that the inner will of Hashem is specifically in the Jewish people. And that's why it's also the answer to the question. Hashem chooses the Jewish people. What for Hashem? For Hashem, what's the big deal? That He chooses us. Hashem sees the greatness even in the physical body of a Jew, that you can't compare it. It's only outwardly the same as the body of a non-Jew. But the answer is that's not what choice is. Hashem's choice is not because we're better, and the better doesn't affect the choice at all. And it's not, okay, the choice is because there's nothing else to choose. The choice that is the Pnimis Haratzin. That's why it's called choice. That's where the inner will of Hashem is specifically in a Jew. A Jew comes from the Pnimis Haratzin, that this is what it's all about. Everything else is there because Hashem wants to make a dwelling place in the lower worlds. When it comes to a Jew, this is where Hashem wants, this is what Hashem wanted in everything, in the creation of the world and everything that there is. And that fact that we are the essence of the creation, that causes that a Jew also chooses Hashem, because that becomes, then we become the inner essence. When we're the inner essence, when we are what it's all about, then our choice of Hashem also becomes a natural choice, which isn't dependent on anything else that's from outside of it. Now, in order that we should be able to do it, we need to have that power we need to have that power from Hashem. So what happens when Hashem chooses the body, the physical body of a Jew, not just the neshama of a Jew, the physical body of a Jew? This gives a Jew a power that even in his physical aspect, not only in his spiritual, in his learning Torah and his davening, but even in the physical aspect, in the things that he does in the physical world, even there, it should be felt that his entire essence is only one with Hashem, and therefore that's everything he wants and nothing else. So that even when he does something physical, it's all there only in order to serve Hashem, and only because this is what everything's all about. So now the Rebbe says, and that's why the carbon of Asher had to be for the choice that Hashem chose the Jewish people. Yes, what's the important thing over here? When we say Asher is called because of what's the Yishuran Shel Yisrael, what is the specialty of a Jew? It's not the fact that Hashem chose us, because that comes from above. The whole point is that we choose Hashem. But when Asher brought his carbon, he had to bring in us that power, that ability that we should be able to choose Hashem. And in order to enable that comes from the fact that Hashem chose us, because that's the only way that we can choose Hashem by essence, because Hashem chose us. So yes, the main point of it is that we're sitting in a world, and nevertheless, and like we're going to explain in a moment, how it comes in the practical world. We're sitting in a world, and even in the physical world, and yet we choose that all we want is Hashem. But how does that happen? That's what's special. That's the Yishuran Shel Yisrael. That's where we're lucky. That's where we're happy. That's where we're praised. But what does it come from? How does it happen? Through the fact of the choice that Hashem chose the Jewish people, because that's what gives the power to do it. Now, that is revealed through the carbon of Asher. And like we said, that revealing this has to come from a power from above, and that power from above comes from a Nasi. And here specifically, which Nasi? The Nasi of Asher on the 11th day of Asher, that the carbon of Asher makes it be revealed, that choice that Hashem chose us, which as a result, that gives us the power that in our essence, even in the physical being, everything that we do should be for no other reason other than to cause than to do what Hashem wants, which that's the nachas ruach, the pleasure that Hashem has, the fact that we as Jews choose Hashem. And the Rebbe says, and this is even more revealed also by the fact that the Alter Rebbe said, Ich will ze gar nicht. I don't want anything. I don't want your Gan Eden. I don't want your Elam Haba. I only want you alone. That the Alter Rebbe said this gives the power to every Jew, and especially those who follow the ways of the Alter Rebbe, that we should have this concept, which that's what gives the Eibishter nachas. And what is that concept? It's revealed in us the fact that Hashem chose us and that this is our essence. And therefore, even though we live in a world where I am not a tzaddik, and on the contrary, I live in a physical world where I have a lot of desires and a lot of things that I want. There's a lot of things that I want that are even against Elokus, that are even not what Hashem wants. My nefesh abamis wants certain things, my animal soul wants certain things, or things that are just for my physical pleasure. Or I want spiritual enrichment and enjoyment and pleasure. But the fact that the Alter Rebbe said, Ich will ze garnis, I don't want anything, causes that even a person who's in that world where he has even physical desires and pleasures, but that he should have that essence, because that's what the Roya reveals. He should have that essence and it should become internalized in him. And how do we do that? It's through learning Torah, and especially the Torah of the Roya of the shepherd, which is Chassidus, and especially the Torah of the Rebbe of our generation, of our Nasi, that gives us the power to reveal it, to make ourselves become a new existence, a true existence of Yud Aleph, where my whole existence is only that I want Hashem. I don't want anything else, that the only will of a person, even though I want all kinds of physical pleasures, and I want perhaps a spiritual pleasure, but that shouldn't be my main thing. My main thing should be, I want to fulfill what Hashem wants and make a dira b'tachtonim dicha lein. Only Hashem means all I want is what Hashem wants. And therefore, even when I want gashmias, that's even when I want ruchnias, and even when I want a physical thing, I should want it only in order to make a vessel for godliness. And then the Rebbe says Hashem gives us a lot of gashmias. Because like the Alter Rebbe says, Hashem gives Jews a lot of gashmias, and Jews make from the gashmias ruchnias. The more gashmias, the more physical, material world Hashem gives us, the more we're able to make spirituality out of it. And therefore that comes a lot, that Hashem gives us a lot, both in quantity and in quality. And we make a lot in quantity and in quality of spirituality until we come to the ultimate of becoming totally one with Hashem, revealing the fact that a Jew and Hashem are all one. Yud Aleph, not Yud, where there's the spirituality, but where a Jew and Hashem are all one, Maidani. And all of this happens with joy and with a good heart, even in the days when we're preparing for Zman Chiruseinu, for the festival of freedom of Pesach. And this brings the actual Zman Chiruseinu, that we become freed of everything with the Gula Amitis V'Ashleima through Mashiach Tzidkeinu B'Karev Mamash. So the idea and the concept of just bringing it all out in the Maimer, if we want to put it, it's interesting. There's 13 Oisias in the Maimer. The Maimer is about 13 Yud Gimel Echad, one, the oneness. That the ultimate of Gula is Yud Aleph. The ultimate of Gula is Asher. The ultimate of Gula is that a Jew knows that my real desire and my real will is to do what Hashem wants. And not only that, a Jew can internalize it through learning, and especially learning Chassidus, bring it down and make it part of me, that my true essence becomes all I want is only Hashem, only what Hashem wants. Hashem wants Dira B'Tachteinim, the revelation of Mashiach. That's all a Jew wants in his life. And there's nothing else, and that makes a person free of anything else, free of the Yetzer Hara, free of all the things that try to pull him to the other side, because he reveals in himself the essence that my entire existence is the connection to Hashem and nothing else. Anan Nasiv Malka, I want only the King, and I want the King also in a way that becomes part of my being, even internally, so that we should have what the King wants, which is the coming of Mashiach, B'Karev Mamash.